How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to episode 10 of the SIG podcast with That Leafs fan. Today is going to be a special one. We are having our first guest who you will be meeting right after the intro. But before we get into that, I just want to take a moment to say thank you guys so much for all of the support. It's a mini milestone. Episode 10 is pretty cool. And I just want to thank you all if you've been tuning in, if you've been interacting with the episodes. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. But without further ado, episode 10 is here with our first guest. Right before that, producer, roll the tape.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to the Sick Podcast. With That Leafs fan.
They score! They score! Holy mackerel, they score! Morgan Riley! Mo Riley! The Leafs have won it! They're going to the second round! Do you believe this? Holy mackerel!
The sickest Toronto Maple Leafs podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Welcome back to another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 10, and this one, like I said, is a special one because we have our first guest right to my right here. We got Massimo, also known as Leafs Fan MD over on TikTok. The guy knows his hockey, and you're going to hear all about it throughout this episode. Mass, I'll let you introduce yourself. Go for it.
Thank you for having me, Giuseppe. Really excited to be on your podcast. Big fan. And let's get started.
All right. Well, first we have a game to talk about, and it's against a team that has caused us a lot.
I don't know what you're talking about. No clue.
No.
It's been wiped from my memory.
People know them as the Boston Bruins. I see them as Goliath, and the team that has caused a lot of trauma-inducing memories that just won't leave. And yesterday, back at TD, playing a game, awful start, first period. To be expected. I mean, I said it from the moment before the season started that it's like the fifth time I repeated already at this point. Go figure. The Leafs don't start on time, man. I don't know what the problem is.
This has been a problem since Babcock was the coach. So for everyone who's trying to blame Keefe for it, it's been a problem since I remember watching the Leafs. They never start on time.
Ever. Like they're all, I don't know. They always, this is kind of the way, and it happened in this game too. The way most Leaf game starts, like Leafy performances, is the puck drops. The Leafs don't start yet. The other team is playing. We go down, head into intermission. I don't know what Keefe says in the room or whoever is the coach at the time, but in this case, it's Keefe. Then sometime throughout the second period, there's a random flip of the switch. And then, they're here. They started playing. And then they find a way back into the game. And then the rest of the game is kind of who wants it more, I guess. But that's literally what happened yesterday.
I will give them credit. I think after it was 10 minutes into the first, they were actually playing. They were moving. They were generating chances. It's just the Bruins looked better. Before the goals went in, I actually thought the game was pretty even. And then the goals went in. They kind of was just okay, let's make it to the intermission and regroup then. But I've seen worse starts for sure. That wasn't too bad yesterday.
No, of course not. I actually thought that, overall, looking at the game, that they kind of found a way to pick up a point. And you're on, I hate saying this, but the Bruins, are one of, if not the best team in the NHL. Somehow they just don't go away. They lose Patrice Bergeron, and they're we're still going to start the season.
But have you met Pavel Zacha?
That's the new guy, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, you know who I did meet, though, in this game, and he pissed me off? The Rat, Brad Marchand.
Yeah.
Oh, man. There's just seasoned vets in the NHL, and you see this across many teams who just know how to bend the rules and act like nothing happened.
You gotta sign a lot of sticks, man.
My stick just kind of went in between both his legs, and I just kind of lifted right when we were near the corner, and he kind of just broke his ankle in 15 different ways, but I don't know what happened.
My leg just ended up behind his leg. I have no clue how that happened.
I was, and the worst part is throughout the rest of the game, anything that the Leafs would do, Marshall's like, what, what? How is that not a penalty? I'm like, shut
Did
up,
you see him dive in the third period? Bro was
dude.
trying to get a call so badly.
I don't like this. I don't, and you know what? Everyone's like, you would love him if he was on your team, and you're probably right, but he's not. And oh my god, I can't like. There's a difference of like hating a player when he's he's just so good against you. But there's like another thing where it's like to me, anytime you implicate like cheap or stuff like that, I don't like it. Like I don't like it.
Yeah, no, I saw that and I was just like, well, that's a chicken play from Brad Marchand, and I'm just used to it by now.
And the craziest part is they showed the replay. Everyone knew it was a penalty, and I'm like, okay, I know. So we're just not gonna. We're just basically what ended up happening. What should have happened was we get a power play.
Yeah.
Because tripping is usually a 2-minute penalty, but this time, um, not allowed. No penalty. We just lose one of our defensemen. We get put in shit, and we don't end up on the power play. And yeah, now we're just down a man in Boston, and Brad Marchand's just like, yeah, no idea what happened. Nothing to see here, as he.
One thing that actually happened after that play that I didn't think would actually happen with the refs that we had and the fact that it was in Boston is usually when you see something like that, a coach would go over and be like, hey, what the hell? And then there would be like mutual understanding of, okay, now you owe us a power play. After that play, the Leafs got 2 power plays back to back and then didn't get penalized until the third period, which was nice. I enjoyed
Yeah,
that.
but you see, also on that, even as a Leafs fan, like I find that such a dumb conversation. Like
Oh, it
how,
is.
like I
The
don't
way the
understand.
refs officiate the game is just so stupid.
Look, the Leafs had more power plays in that game. And first of all, to anyone listening, the refs were obviously not the reason of the outcome of the game, like at all. What I'm saying is like, why do me and you both understand exactly the way it's gonna go before it happens? Like,
I
aren't you
shouldn't
supposed?
be able to predict who's getting the next penalty. I shouldn't be able to do that.
I mean, unless you're God and you foreshadowed the entire game in your head, which you can't do.
Yeah.
How what does makeup call mean? What does what you just said before of yeah, well, afterwards the Leafs just got 2 power plays and they didn't get penalized for the rest of the game. Yeah, the refs missed call on the Leafs too. You like I think they were bad on both ends.
No,
Like
the refs were horrible for both teams. Easily.
but it's been like that's the case. Like I normally like to shy away from conversations of the ref because everyone's like, oh, look at that, another Leafs fan like blaming their like. No, I'm not blaming the refs at all. What I am saying is officiating in the NHL is just a joke. Like it's a joke. It's oh, we gave you 2 penalties. Oh, he just suplexed you. Yeah, but you already got 2 power plays. Ah, he like kind of pushed you into the board. Yeah, we have to give the other one a
It's
penalty. We're sorry, guys.
it's the fact that they're obsessed with making sure the game is called fairly, which is the most unfair thing you can do.
Like, call the game.
Call the
Like
game.
some games are not fair. Sometimes one team is completely dominating, and by dominating, you create sequences where the other team is forced to take a penalty. But they're just like, yeah, but you already had 3 power plays. Can't give you a fourth without giving the other guys a chance. It's like, yeah,
Could
but
you
that's just how the
imagine
game's going.
could you imagine looking back at a game score and be like, "Oh, the Leafs had 7 power plays and this team only had 2." No, that just doesn't happen.
Oh, maybe it's because the team who had more power plays was generating more opportunity and they were just playing better, so the other team had to like it's
It's
no one talks about it.
way easier to take a penalty when you don't have the puck.
No kidding. And but they don't I don't know. I just find I'll say like a summary of what I'm saying and the reason this pisses me off is because the refs should do exactly what it says in their name. Ref the game. Don't try to change the game or even the game out or ice tilt. Like ref the game.
Yeah.
If one team just so happens to take 4 penalties in a row, did he trip, hook, splash, and cross check? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay, 4 power plays. Yeah, but now the other team didn't have a penalty. Yeah, but maybe it's because the other team didn't take a penalty. So don't just call one for the sake of calling one.
I'll be devil's advocate because everyone thinks we're advocating for the Leafs. I'm actually advocating against the Leafs right now. The fact that you missed a penalty and a coach goes over you and says, "Okay, well now you owe us a power play." No, you don't. You don't fabricate a call out of nowhere.
Yes,
If Boston
exactly.
doesn't take a penalty, you don't call them for a penalty just because you missed one. What is
But
this?
that's what I'm saying. Where it's like I'm not siding with the Leafs or the Bruins. I'm not siding with any team. I'm just saying if you just did your job and called, and I get it, the game's fast. You're gonna miss some calls, but like that was blatant. There was all of the guys looking in. There was 2 guys in the corner. There was Brad Marchand, Timothy Liljegren. There was official 1, official 2 looking in the corner.
Wes McCauley's on the board just watching it happen. Nothing
Like
happened.
you saw the replay. The ref's just like, "Oh yeah, it's good hockey play." After review of the play, no goal. Like what are you doing?
Listen, I don't want to get into conspiracies or anything like that, but I do find it more than a coincidence that the Leafs haven't won a playoff game when Wes McCauley refs that game.
I don't even want to get into that.
So
I don't even want to get into that. I'm just because I don't want to turn the what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to turn the responsibility onto because at the end of the day, refs, to be honest, kind of suck for everyone.
yeah,
Um, Obviously it's kind of sus, but like at the same time, if the Leafs, I can't believe we're talking about playoffs now, but if the Leafs lose a series, it's their doing. I
oh, of
don't care.
course,
Like,
100%.
so
Like just because the refs gave you a penalty doesn't mean you have to be
yeah,
scored on. Simply kill the penalty. The Bruins are at like a 90% penalty kill.
yeah. It's by the but yesterday, so I was watching the game with my girlfriend, and she's like, I'm looking at her, I'm like, but you're not like watching the game because we were like supposed to like do like kind of like a boys' night where like we're kind of watching the Leafs game together.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm like, you're like on your phone, you're not watching. She's like, the game's boring.
Yeah,
30
been there.
seconds later,
Been
Marner,
there.
boom. I'm like, let's go, we're back. 30, like a minute later, or a minute, 3 seconds later, Matthews. See, like that's what I mean. Where like that was the switch. That was
Yeah,
the
the
switch.
the stars got it started, and that's exactly what you need to see. The person that everyone's been trying to trade the last 10 games is the person who finally shot the puck and the person who started the comeback.
Oh no, Marner should. I don't think Marner should be. I don't think he's someone that should ever be in talks of being traded because like the problem is with Toronto, and it's not just Toronto. Like you see it with the Habs, you see it with like a team like big market teams like the Cowboys in football, or I don't know the. I don't really watch a whole lot of basketball, but let's say like the Raptors or something. Like all these like high market teams, they're just under a microscopic like supervision that oh, you played 2 bad games in a row. Nah, like I don't care that you went on like a 30 game point. Like, nah, now out. Like get out of here.
Bro, Marner's on like a 6 game point streak. He's almost
No
at
one
a
knows
point per
this,
game,
though.
and people are trying to trade him.
No one knows that. You see what I mean? Because they
They
won't
just
talk
they
about
just
it.
see the way he plays, and they're just like, oh, he's not moving his feet, he's not doing anything. When in reality, he's like one of our best defensive forwards we have.
You see, that's the thing where I notice it's so much of it's such there's so many so a lot of most casual fans are gonna catch up with the games on like say Sports Center in the morning or whatever.
Mhm.
Um it's and what when how do I explain this? Like the narratives, it's all about the narratives. It's like I haven't heard once someone say, "Yeah, Marner's on a 6 game point streak." Nope, didn't hear. I didn't hear that once.
Yeah,
But
I had to
Nylander, on
find
the
that out
other,
myself.
but Nylander, on the other hand, who's on a 10 game point streak, that's the only thing I'm hearing. So it's like
Yeah,
it's kind of narrative. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Where it's like, oh, Nylander has to sign a contract. Oh, he's on a 10 game point streak. Are we gonna pay him? Marner's on a
yeah.
6 game point streak, but it's like the commentator made him sound like he's been like a ghost and non-existent. Like,
Marner's
has he
on a
been
six
playing?
game point streak, but he hasn't scored. But that's not what Marner does, man.
And it's and to a certain extent, I get it. Like, there's expectations on these types of players, but it's like even Matthews. Like we've, I know me and you have watched every single game. He scored his second goal in 8 games after the starting the season with 2 hat tricks. Do you think he's been playing bad?
No.
Like at all? I think he's been. I think he's looked probably in one of his like highest forms, or probably highest as I've seen him on the Leafs in terms of like
Just every
win.
year he looks like a force of nature even more. Like this season compared to last season, he's like 5 times better. The way he just strips people of the puck. It happened yesterday. I think it was in the
You see
third
that?
period. The Leafs were going back, or the Bruins are going back to the left. So I don't know what period that was, but Matthews
It
was
was the
behind that player, chased him down, stripped him of the puck, and then Marner had a free puck. Like the way he turns pucks over is phenomenal. I love seeing it. And when he's killing penalties, I think he's got a real shot of winning the Selkie.
We'll see though. That's again overall in yesterday's game. There's what I like. I forget who says this, but the reason I feel optimistic is because are the Leafs playing great right now? No, like they're not nearly as dominant as they were at this point last season.
Yeah.
But what I do like about it is that we're 5-3-2. It's not the best, but like I
I
think we
I can appreciate the fact that we haven't like had a tear everything down, blow everything up October like we usually do.
yeah, and not only that, it's I think to a certain extent we walked away with 12 points out of a possible 20. That's not great. Um but like I think we've played like I don't want to say awful, but like very mediocre hockey so far. Like we've
Yeah.
had flashes, but like overall, like it hasn't been good, and we're 5-3-2. So like that to me is like, okay, well, like what if they start playing like the what I think is gonna happen this year, which we haven't normally seen in seasons, is that like you said prior to the episode, I don't know if you said it like during the episode, but that the Leafs have that like powerful November where they go on like a 11, 12 game tear for some reason. And then the rest of the year, they kind of just like even out at 500. But because of that crazy win streak, it gets them in like
Yeah.
safely.
Yeah.
I think in a way, it's good that they're kind of more in the middle of the pack and they're going to have to fight for it. And you're seeing like the Stars game or the game against the Bruins yesterday. And it's very inconsistent at this point. But overall, I think it's like from the game one versus the Habs and like the Hawks and those games to now, I'm already seeing like little things I'm liking more. And I think that's the difference with this, like the different style that this team has is that I think it's going to be slowly building, like slowly
Yeah,
throughout the
the
year.
team was looking better, which was why the LA Kings game was so discouraging because it was like, what the hell was that?
It's the way I look at that one is like you're gonna have games like that, like the same way, dude. The Bruins were winning 3-1 with 2 minutes left over the Ducks, and they lost to the Ducks.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That if you decided to put like $2 on the Ducks in that game, you probably made like $100 because it's like no one knew that was no one thought that was gonna happen. Like what?
Yeah.
This is like an undefeated team playing like a team kind of on the rise, but like nowhere near like the goal yet. And then like anyone can it can happen, right? So what I'm excited about at the very least is that we're seeing I'm seeing more of like it's slow, but like I'm seeing more of this than I am like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Right.
we've seen plateau with the Leafs like every time, every season we see like a plateau, and then we head into the playoffs on a plateau. I think this year there's a lot more competitors, and I don't think the Leafs playoff spot is locked by any means.
Oh no.
I think they definitely find a way. They should find a way, but it's way more of a dogfight, which I think for the type of team that Toronto is at least trying to build towards or what they're saying they want to be, I think is the perfect scenario because it's like you're going to be tested and you're going to play a lot more meaningful games throughout the year than you normally would because like by January normally we already know like okay, we locked up second place, we're going to get the Bolts in like 4 months. Let's just like stay healthy, I guess, and
Yeah.
like go and chase your accolades. This year it's
Yeah.
going to be like nah, like everyone is like the Habs are overperforming. The Wings came out
We're
to
tied with the Habs right now for third in the division.
no, but you know what I mean? And it's like, look, maybe I'm completely wrong. I don't make any judgments on teams before the 20 game mark because at before that it could be a streak. It could like do you think the Oilers I think I said this last episode. do you think the Habs are 5-2-2 good, and do you think the Oilers are 2-6-1 bad?
No, and I don't even think the Canucks are this good either. I think
But
you're right for not making judgments upon the 20 game mark because teams are still trying to figure out their systems. There's new players trying to get accustomed to the systems. There's new players trying to get accustomed to the new players. Everything is still trying to work itself out. And once you get past that 20 game mark, you get into a stretch where it's like, okay, we're good. Now let's just go play hockey and win games. And I don't think we're there yet. I think the Leafs are still trying to figure each other out. I think the defense is still trying to figure each other out. I think you can see that with a bunch of other teams. Pittsburgh is majorly struggling right now because they brought in Chris Letang Part 2, and Chris Letang Part 2 can't figure out how this Penguins power play works. Once he
yeah,
does, they're going to be way better. They're not going to finish 8th in the division this
or in
season.
the conference. They're last in the conference right now.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I don't think that it like that's even like 20 games to me is like where you can start kind of saying like, okay, this is who's looking fierce. This is who's looking, and these teams have no chance. Like it's way too soon. There's teams with different types of schedules. There's teams who like, I'm sorry, Alex DeBrincat is good. He had like 13 points in like the first 6 games. Like, no, he's not finishing with 140 points this year. And it's no disrespect to him. It's just like that was a hot segment of his season. He's gonna
Yeah.
hit a cold run. He'll
Another
hit the
thing is like over in Dallas, Onger hasn't been that good. Robertson hasn't been that good. Hintz is just starting to perform. Like those guys are going to be in midseason form by the 30 game mark, but right now they're not, and we all know that's not going to last. So why would he think that Alex DeBrincat's goal scoring pace is going to last?
I actually think the Dallas Stars are gonna like they're making it out of the
Oh, they're
Western
my
Conference.
cup pick.
They're
So
so good, man. Oh my, I don't know how we won the game. Honestly, like Joseph Woll was a huge reason we won that game, and I don't think the Leafs played a bad one against the Stars.
no, that was actually one of their best games.
Yeah, it was because see, like that to me, it's like who did we lose to so far this year? We lost to the Hawks somehow. We
Let me
lost to the
find their
Preds.
schedule for you.
I think I know them off the top of my head. We lost to the Hawks in regulation, 4-1. We lost to the Preds in overtime. We lost to the Kings. We lost to the Bruins, and there's like one more that I'm missing. The only game that I think we played well in and lost was yesterday. And like even then there was things to fix, but like it was overall like I thought it was a pretty good game that they played,
Mm-hmm.
like considering like other than that, then we end up playing teams like the Stars and we win. And like
Florida, we lost to Florida.
Florida, that's the one. And
Yeah.
no, that was probably the worst game of the year. That was easily the worst game of the year. That was
Well,
awful.
before LA, yeah.
I still thought that the Panthers game, like that game, we did not have a chance. And we mind you, even against the Kings, yeah, no, that's fair. They were both terrible games. But you see, like those games are gonna happen, and in a way, get them out of the way like early.
Oh, for
Like
sure.
I'd much rather see games like that in October, November than seeing a game like that in like March, April. Because if I'm seeing those types of games in March, April, when like, and this is where I come back to the point of I think it's important. I think it's good for the Leafs that they're in a much more they're like kind of pinned where it's like it's not like other years where it's like there's 4 profoundly awful teams and like
Mhm.
4 really good ones, so like you're locked if you like play mediocre.
Yeah.
This year it's like no, you're gonna have to play, you're gonna need to find your points to like make it in. And I think that's again, especially with the style of team, I think it can actually come to our benefit. And I said it at the beginning of the year. I really think the Leafs have a worse season. I don't think they're going to finish nearly with
I
as
said
much
that too.
points.
Yeah.
Partly in because of the type of team they have, and in part also because the rest of the East, especially the Atlantic, I think is a lot more. They've all teams are like that. Were coming on the rise are now like rising, and
Yeah.
the top teams are still good. So it's like everyone is good. So you're just going to have those. There's going to be more of an even spread kind of thing.
Yeah,
I
and
think.
I mean, in saying that, like the Leafs have 3 upcoming games against division rivals. Can we at least get 5 points, please? Like that's just you got it.
It's
Like, these are really important games. Like
yeah,
games against, non-division teams, like sure, like try and figure out your play, try and figure out your systems, but division teams, Win those games, especially against the Senators, because I'm tired of being punked by the Senators. Like, just beat the Senators. They're the Senators. Beat the
I
Senators.
think, especially with what's going on with them right now, oh my God, from the Pinto suspension to them being stripped of their first round pick to the firing of their GM. I saw a meme and it was like the Ottawa Senators have finally signed Adam Reynolds, probably. Like, finally, everything's going to like be like something positive to say about them. And it's like, I don't know. But the Senators against the Leafs is like the same as like the Leafs against the Habs or the Leafs against the Bruins. It doesn't matter who's better or worse. Those games are always good. They're always
Yeah,
tight.
and I'm really tired of the whole underplaying inferior teams. That can't happen this season because if it
Yeah,
does, we might end up missing the playoffs.
yeah, I agree.
So I think we play San Jose in January. January, we have a back-to-back, I think. I swear to God, if we don't get 4 points from those games, I will lose my mind because
These
the
San Jose
Vancouver Canucks just beat them 10-0. 10-1, sorry. Like, Mackenzie Blackwood has the hardest job on the planet. Like, I'm so sorry for that guy.
Oh, dude, dude, Jack Quinn and Luke Hughes have almost double the points than like just them three together
Jack Hughes.
have almost double the points than the entire San Jose Sharks. Like the entire
Jack Hughes, Quinn Hughes, and Luke Hughes have more points than the entire San Jose Sharks roster.
Yeah, yeah, and like by nearly double. Not
Mhm.
like it's close. Like I think
Yeah.
that the brothers are over 40. The Sharks are like under 25. Like the whole team.
You want to
It's
play a game real quick? You
what's up?
want to see if you can tell me who you think leads the San Jose Sharks in points?
Kevin LeBanc is my guess.
Kevin LeBanc. It is. This is a great time for slow internet. You gotta love it. It is Thomas Hurdle. How many points?
Okay.
How many points do you think he has?
7.
He's got 5.
Oof,
Kevin
that's bad.
LeBanc's not even on the team. Oh no, he is. He is.
Yeah.
He's only played 7 games. He's got 1 point.
Oh, nice.
Leading goal scorer Fabian Zetterlund with 3 goals. Ooh, another fun one. What's Mackenzie's Blackwood save percentage?
Under like 850.
It's actually an 895, but the poor guy.
That's not even that bad.
His goals against is 4.1. Like, this guy's fighting for his life.
But it's like that's like if you look at it, that's actually not that bad. Like considering they just lost 10-1.
Yeah, he's faced 239 shots in 7 games. That is criminal.
That's literally wait. I don't want to say something stupid here. That's like a 35 shot average. Something like that.
That's a lot of shots.
Yeah, but one last thing I did want to cover was the NHL, because this league is shocking.
Some might even call it amateur.
Like, I don't know, man. I spoke about it in last episode. Obviously, the incident that happened with Adam Johnson. As a fan, I never want to see that again, ever.
Yeah.
Ever. And you can't avoid it, but don't sit like whoever made this call. Do not tell me that you can sit on a chair face to face with me and look at me in the eye and tell me that mandating neck guards does not, at the very least, 100% increase the odds of that not happening. Like 1,000%.
Yep,
and
it does.
What the fuck?
Sorry, I saw someone on Twitter who said that exact same thing happened to him, but he was wearing a neck guard, and it basically saved his life.
But that's what I mean, and it's like, look, if he had a neck guard, would it have still happened? Maybe. I don't know. Would it have increased the chances of it being less severe? And it's not his fault. This is like, like everyone else, it wasn't mandatory. So he didn't have to wear it. He's not doing anything wrong. And the NHL comes out and says, we strongly recommend you to do this. It's like, so wait, 1, it's not a rule. That's what I got. 2, were you not recommending this before?
No, I think the NHL feels that they can't like force grown men to do something, which is
Of
completely
course you
false
can.
because it's your league. You make the rules, man.
No, but
I strongly advise that you have to save these players from themselves because we know they will play with punctured lungs. They will not protect themselves as much as you think they will. You
I
have to
saw
save them from themselves.
I saw comment because I talked about this. I made a video on it yesterday, and a lot of the comments were exactly what you said. Like, "Oh, they're grown men; they can make their decisions." It's like I don't care if you're like 75 or 18. I'm not saying this for, "Oh, you're a grown person; you can make your own decision." It's like, no. What I'm
Yeah.
saying is whoever you are, wherever you're from, however good or bad you are, put on a fucking neck guard. It's very simple. It's not optional. This is not someone's like it impedes their movement. What? What?
You know what
What are
impedes
you
your
talking
movement?
about?
Not
Like,
having a neck guard, that's just wild.
no, like that was like blowing my mind. I'm like, movement? It restricts your movement? How? Like, what do you
Oh yeah,
mean? You're
when they're
telling me
scanning the ice like this, it slows down the neck movement.
okay, no, but that impedes their movement, but knee pads, pants, shoulder pads, elbow pads, all of that. No, that's yeah. Like, dude, I'd argue honestly, a neck guard, anything to do with your neck higher is way more important than everything that follows. So it's like they're all wearing elbow pads. They're
Yeah,
all
listen,
wearing like they
I've
literally have the things on their wrists and they have like the protection over their feet and they have like 4 layers of protection on like their shins. And I get it, it's important, of course. So how are you gonna sit here and argue with me that a neck guard is not mandatory? Like what is
I
that?
I have played hockey for more than half of my life. I can guarantee you I'd be a god without elbow pads, and I can guarantee you Austin Matthews is scoring 70 without elbow pads, but he still wears them because he understands that, if he falls and lands on his elbow, that's not a good case scenario. So like,
Honestly, to
wear the
me,
neck guard.
what's scariest in all of this, I'll leave it at this, is that if a situation like the Adam Johnson happens and that's still not enough for the NHL to just grow a pair and make the decision, that's like I think that's like pretty dangerous because it's like someone just passed away, not maybe not directly, but like in huge part because the precautions weren't taken overall by the league. Like this wasn't in place, and maybe again, said this before. The thing we are all trying to avoid is the maybe. Take it out. If you have it on, it already you don't even have to ask the question what if. No one wants to
Mhm.
ask what ifs in these situations. Like a guy just lost his life
Yeah.
because he got a skate to the neck. And what if a neck guard saved his life? I don't know. Maybe. But you see, like maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just have it on and we'll prevent that conversation. Probably this could have at very least maybe made it slightly less lethal.
Mhm.
Not a conversation. Put on a fucking neck guard. Don't ask questions. I don't care if you're 18. I don't care if you're 45 and you're in the league. If you want to play hockey and you're on the ice, put on a fucking neck guard and don't ask questions. It doesn't impede your movement. It. I saw people saying, "Oh, but it's like style." Shut up. Shut up. What are you talking about? Who cares about
Yeah.
style?
Yeah.
Like,
I'd rather have a life than style, but that's just
like
me.
what? You have style like before the game. Decide what suit you want to wear to the game. I don't care what you look like on the ice. Like,
Yeah.
get out of here. Like, oh, I don't know that. Like to me, like it's so. I don't know. It's so disappointing. Like again, someone lost his life. Like I don't think people understand that someone lost his life directly because of an incident that occurred in the sport.
Mhm.
I'm not here to blame anyone. What I'm simply saying is there can be measures of precaution put into place, like mandating the neck guard, that can increase your odds at safety. And at the end of the day, playing sports is a luxury, it's an opportunity, it's not something that we need, it's things that we have the chance to do. And I love
Yeah.
sports, it's literally my life. But safety is before all of that. Because if you're not if you're not healthy, you're not playing. The way
Yep.
to stay healthy is to protect yourself. The way you protect yourself is by taking the measure, like putting measures into place, not making it strongly recommended. Like, I hope you were doing that before. What the fuck does that mean? Like, garbage.
The
Garbage.
statement of just being like, "Hey, yeah, just by the way, neck guards are optional, but we recommend you wear them." What was the
Like
point of that? What were they
I
before?
it would have pissed me off less if they just wouldn't have said anything. Like, don't even like you could have just not made a statement, and like I wouldn't have been surprised because it's the NHL. But you're going ahead and saying strongly recommending. Like what? Get out
Yeah.
of here, dude. Garbage. That I don't know. That was like
I
the
mean,
thing to
I
me.
think we're long overdue a new commissioner, and I don't think we're gonna get one. But who
I don't
knows?
know, man. I don't know how not. Maybe I haven't like been across all social media, but like I hope more people are talking about this because it's like a blatant joke. It's a joke.
It's good to see some NHL players and some teams starting to wear them. I saw the Jets were wearing them. I saw TJ Oshie came out with a statement like, "Listen, I'm wearing it for my kids," and like he's a father. He probably wants to stick around for them. Good for
You know what I
him.
mean?
I'd imagine that half the league is full of fathers. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes in the next few weeks.
I just like people just need to understand like it's bigger than you. It's not just about you. Like
Yeah.
by you, whoever it is, if you're a superstar in the NHL, I can promise you there's a lot of kids looking up to you. There's a lot of people looking up to you. And by you showing that after an incident that big, like it literally life or death, that you're not at the very least gonna try your best to avoid that. Like, what does that show the
If,
upcoming?
I tell you, man, if Connor McDavid puts on a neck guard next game, I promise you a lot of young hockey players are wearing neck guards.
Couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. We'll leave it on that one. We'll let the people in the comments. I want to know your opinions. I really want to know because do you feel as strongly as I do? Are you on the opposite side? I want to know, and I want to know your explanation. I'm
Yeah,
not
if you don't wear a neck guard, please tell us why. Just give us
why.
your honest reason why.
And like, if again, it's your decision. I get that. Fuck that. You know what I mean? I don't like. This is why I said mandate it so no one has the choice. Just put it on.
Mhm,
That's my
mhm.
take. But Mass, want to thank you very much for being a guest. I know 100% you're going to be on again in the future if you'd like.
Oh, of
If
course. Fantastic.
yeah, like people don't see like I have your hands like tied under, so like you're being forced to smile right now, like being held. No, I'm messing with you, but yeah, no, I just want to thank you very much for coming on to the show. Always a pleasure. And to everyone listening to the episode, thank you guys so much up until right now for all the support, all of the comments, all of everyone just taking the time out of their day to listen to the podcast. It means the world. It's episode 10. It's a mini milestone, and I hope to in the future be saying, guys, it's episode 100, but we still got quite a while to go there. Don't forget, make sure to go and check out Leafs Fan MD over on TikTok. He posts a lot of really good takes. I'm serious. They're very direct, which I like, and they're also very informative. So definitely go and check that out. Give him a follow. Good friend of mine, and he's definitely going to be on for more episodes. So hope you guys enjoyed it. And on that note, Mass, thank you very much, my friend. We'll see you guys in the next one. Producer, roll the tape.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with That Leafs Fan on YouTube, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.